Some stories are hidden in the shadows. Welcome to DarkLens.
The captain never saw it coming. The sea was calm, the sky was clear. Nothing seemed unusual. Then something struck the boat from below. The impact was so powerful that the entire vessel shuddered. Coffee spilled across the deck, equipment rattled. The crew rushed to the rails. For a moment, they saw nothing, only dark water. Then a black fin broke the surface. An orca, a killer whale, one of the most intelligent predators on Earth. The animal circled the boat once, twice. Then it charged. Another impact, stronger this time. The boat lurched sideways. The crew stared in disbelief as more dark shapes emerged from beneath the waves. The whales weren't hunting. They weren't feeding. They were attacking the boat, and nobody knew why. At first, nobody paid much attention. It seemed like a strange accident, a rare encounter, nothing more. But then it happened again. Another boat, another attack. Soon, sailors across the waters of Spain and Portugal were telling the same story. Orcas appeared without warning. They surrounded vessels, and then they struck. Again, and again, and again. The strangest part wasn't the attacks themselves. It was where they happened. Not the hull, not the sails. The rudder. The one part of the boat responsible for steering. The one part that controlled its movement. It was a strangely specific target. Too specific. Almost as if the whales understood exactly what they were doing. And that was when people began to worry. Some boats were left drifting helplessly in open water. Others suffered serious damage. A few never made it home. They sank. By then, it was impossible to ignore. Something unusual was happening in the Atlantic Ocean. Something nobody could explain. And the mystery was only getting started. Scientists began searching for answers. At first, the explanation seemed simple. Maybe the whales were playing. After all, young orcas are curious. They investigate unfamiliar objects. They explore their surroundings. Perhaps the boats had simply become a new toy. It was a reasonable theory. But there was a problem. The attacks kept happening, and the pattern never changed. Again and again, the whales targeted the same place. The rudder, not the hull, not the sails, the rudder. It was too precise, too deliberate, almost as if the whales had a reason. And that possibility was difficult to ignore. Because orcas are not ordinary animals. They are among the most intelligent creatures on Earth. They solve problems, they work together, they learn from one another. And sometimes they pass that knowledge on, from one generation to the next, just like humans. Scientists have a name for that, culture. And that was when the mystery took an unexpected turn. But then, scientists noticed something strange. The attacks weren't spreading randomly. There was a pattern. The same whales appeared again and again. The same families. The same pods. And that raised a disturbing possibility. What if the orcas were teaching each other? The idea sounded impossible, even absurd. Yet the evidence kept pointing in the same direction. What began with a few whales appeared to be spreading. One whale learned it. Others copied it, then passed it on. The attacks weren't behaving like instinct. They were behaving like an idea. And that raised an even bigger question. Where had that idea come from? The search eventually led researchers to a single whale, a female orca known as White Gladys. Many scientists believe she may hold the key to the entire mystery. According to one theory, White Gladys experienced a traumatic encounter with a vessel years earlier. Perhaps she was struck by a boat, perhaps injured by a propeller, perhaps trapped in fishing gear. No one knows for certain, but if that encounter changed her behavior, it may have changed everything. Other whales may have watched, copied her actions, then taught them to others. If that's true, sailors are not witnessing random acts of aggression. They are witnessing the spread of knowledge, an idea moving from mind to mind beneath the surface of the Atlantic Ocean. And that possibility is both fascinating and terrifying, because it suggests these attacks are not the result of instinct alone. They may be the result of learning, of memory, of experience. Today, the mystery remains unsolved. Scientists continue to debate the cause, sailors continue to report encounters, and the orcas continue to strike. Not at people, not at prey, but at boats. And perhaps that is what makes this story so unsettling, because for centuries, humans believed intelligence belonged almost entirely to us. But beneath the waves, another mind was watching, learning, adapting, remembering. A species capable of passing knowledge from one generation to the next. A species with traditions, with culture, with lessons of its own. And somewhere in the dark waters of the Atlantic, a young orca may be swimming beside its family right now, watching, learning, memorizing, not how to hunt, not how to survive, but how to stop a boat. And if one whale can teach another, what else might they be teaching? Because the truth is, we may not be witnessing a series of attacks. We may be witnessing the birth of a new tradition, one that is spreading beneath the surface of the ocean. And nobody knows where it will lead next.